like that broken anymore before she got like hit by so many changes, you know. So I feel like permanently like just picking the same champion. I think in Master Plus it's more concerning what do you draft, you know. So I think you got to have like a second or a third pick besides Senna. That's like my
Hmm.
opinion. Because I think there are some really really bad games where Senna just doesn't really provide enough, you know.
Yeah.
For example, maybe this game was like one of those games where Senna was just a really bad draft. I mean, in here you get countered by many things. I mean, I assume the early game it's like Pike, right? He can hook you, then shit can happen. But in general, like there are some hard engaging comps where either your AD carry needs some strong peeling, you know, and
Hmm.
as Senna, you have a route that takes time to until it snares, you know. So as Senna, you don't really have like the best like protecting power. I guess you have like a mist, right?
Yeah.
It's about like protecting your AD carry or either protecting yourself. And sometimes if you pick Senna, it feels like you can't really protect your AD carry neither yourself, you know. So you kind of have to rely on maybe killing the opponent engager before he kills our AD carry or us. But you can't really like one shot them as Senna, so that's how it goes, you know. So I think that's why like in some games you are forced to get the Zanye, otherwise you're just gonna get wiped. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think there
Yeah.
is some annoying combs. So I feel like Senna is like not that one trickable. Even if in some games it will work, you know, because it's solo queue. But I feel like the more you will rank up from Master Plus above, the drafting matters more, you know. So I'm pretty much sure I think you need to play something else besides Senna, you know.
And
Something.
would you think it will be a good
I think.
second pick?
So I think something that's exactly the opposing, you know, from Senna. Um, So I think there are some really like insane champion like Yumi and Lulu are still quite meta right now. Yumi is something that gets permabanned even after the nerfs. She feels to be really really strong. It's really strong with some champions such as Twitch, Sivir, Jinx is not bad. So there are some insane like I would say Yumi is not too hard to master. You know that's why I say Yumi, and it doesn't take too much skill. You know, so it's easy to practice her, right? It's like the good thing about her.
Hmm.
And right now she's still strong even after the nerfs. Because like if you're looking just to scale, then she's just so perfect, right? It's like one of
Yeah.
the it's like one of the things I can think of. Like she has way weaker early game of course than Senna, but her scaling is just different. Um, then again, like Yumi is one of the things I can think of. Now Tamkench is like something that's like a situational pick that can be really OP in some games to counter some form of engages, you know. It's like one of my personal preferences. I mean, what else should you play in here? I can think of Yumi as like a good pick, you know.
Yeah.
What else is great as a support in this meta? Let me look through the support champions. Support. Had I
Yeah.
shown? So like Rakan is decent as a champion. I feel like Braum is decent as a champion. I think there are many like great supports. Like Braum can be good situationally in games where you re-counters. For example, if they have like a Twitch Yumi, the Braum counters both Twitch and Yumi because they are one person and it counters the projectile from Twitch and from Yumi. So his E kinda makes useless two champions at once, you know.
Hmm.
And now Yumi and Twitch are quite meta. Even in pro play, they get almost every time they get permapicked if they get the opportunity to do so. I think like Braum is like one of those like good situational picks. What else do we have here that's so great in our meta? So I would say like Braum is decent. I like Tamkench, but most of the supports as I see them, there isn't like something that's like broken and you can pick every game. I feel like support role is something that you always situationally pick. That's how I see it. Unless you're first pick, then you don't have a choice, you know. But I don't feel like there is like anything that's some things might be a bit more meta, you know, as
Hmm.
enchanters. But I think there is like a world where like punishing supports again. Like I would say like Thresh is something that takes more skill again. Um, hmm. Like which is your personal preference? Like besides Senna, like what do you like to play beside these? I would also say like
Uh,
Seraphine is great.
I used to main the previous patch Maokai as
Um,
support.
Amalka is kind of shit actually as a support. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Uh,
really bad, but
yeah. That's why I just stopped playing him.
Yeah,
Only when my Senna is banned, I just pick him. But
yeah. I
yeah.
mean, you can just pick Karma. Maybe it gives a similar feeling, no? You just like blast people with your Qs, no?
Mhm.
Or Tamkench, it's like a great pick. Like from my second opinion, I like all of these like supports. Tamkench, Yumi, Braum, Seraphine is decent right now. Rakan is fine, decent. Thresh can be good in some games. Lulu, it's like really good. Yumi is still good as I said before. Then the rest of the supports, Janna, she got nerfed quite a lot, but she can work against some champions like Samira, because she doesn't have to get enough agency over the game. Taric is also again a situational champ, which can be really good into a melee comp, or if you have some form of strong engaging champion that can abuse your E, in some form
Mhm.
that you use your E and he dashes forward. But I can only think of like Zilean is also really OP to shut down assassins, or champions that rely on resets, such as a Darius. When he ults somebody, he gets his passive, right?
Yeah.
So Zilean kind of counters Spike as well in some form, right? Um, Same as Lulu, if you play safely, eventually Pike gonna be useless. So I feel like these are like the champions I can generally think of. Bard is kind of like an interesting utility champion. Nami is also great with like many champions. I would recommend Nami as well if you like enchanters. Uh, the reason for that is I think she's still quite strong. It's really good with champions such as Lucian, Ezreal.
Mhm.
So which game do you want to rewatch in here?
I'm not sure. I mean, maybe not in the ones where I win, because that's apparently I've done okay.
So the
No, no. Maybe I want to watch the first defeat. Uh,
first defeat, where is the first defeat?
uh, uh,
This one?
Go up. Uh, the other one. With the
Okay.
words Dominic. Yeah.
So you can go Zanye as well if you like value defensive stats on a setup, but you can also go something like Locket and Redemption, which kind of makes you a bit more support oriented instead of like being another like DPS champion. It's like
Mhm.
one way to protect your carry. So we have like sort of easy matchup in the early game. I think the only problem is if Amumu gets a Q on us, then they have a really strong all-in. But if we position behind minions, our early level should be really good into Ezreal and Amumu, just because the minion cover kind of like covers his Q. So there's not much they can do, right? There's not much they can do. So in here we are looking for an invade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
I don't like that you're leading in the front. Because if people stack by chance, then you could be dead. Like Garen doesn't instantly dies, for example.
Yeah. But it's super rare to
Settings
see
spawn.
Yeah,
enemies to stuck in
yeah,
this
the
bush.
angle is a bit bad as well. What's the issue? Like usually you shouldn't invade like hugging this side. You wanna invade
Uh.
like this, because they don't have vision. Like it's
Mhm.
so the vision is greater what they see like this. But it depends on the positioning, but of the enemy champion. But usually it's better to invade something like this. Same as like on the bot side, because they have less vision, because of the wall. See?
Mhm.
And when you are here, when you show up here, then it's sometimes it's too late compared to like him seeing us in here.
Yeah.
See the wall. Now there's like on the bot side as well. Oh fuck this. So on the bot side as well, same thing. If you try to collapse like this, then they have more space to like see you in some way. But if you collapse like this, then they have probably less, because of the wall. So
Yeah. When I'm doing the bot invade, I'm doing it in the right wall, but
Welcome to
yeah, okay.
in top
Summoner's
lane,
Rift.
I just feel it's more slower if I
Yeah,
go
the
from lane and
30 seconds
do
uh-huh.
till
the
minions spawn.
I mean, you
do
just
the
slightly,
thing.
yeah, just slightly slower, honestly. So I don't think so it should affect you much. But I don't actually like too much your own choice. Fleet is not that great actually. Again, like Ezreal pokes, but only if he hits you. And that's just all. Like I think Fleet is good against pokers. I think
Mhm.
I think the mobility is the only thing that's like kinda good, you know. But other than that, against like a melee champion that doesn't really provide any poke, just only a strong all-in, I wouldn't really go for fleet, you know.
And to what would you pick
I mean,
instead?
I think you can just go offensive because they have Amumu. So because they have Amumu, I think pre-6 is kinda weak, you know. After 6 is dangerous. Um, so like pre-6 you want to get like strong advantages. Because the problem is if Amumu all-ins you, even if you have fleet, you're dead, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like before 6 it doesn't matter if you have fleet or not because realistically if you position well, you heal off your Q as well. Um, Ezreal should be the only one that can poke you if you are not in between minions or if he hits his Q, you know, or if his Q is up on cooldown. So I would go actually more offensive. So your two options are first strike or PTA. PTA is a bit more aggressive early on. First strike also provides some damage, less damage than PTA, but it's more reliable to proc it and it allows you to get like faster items, you know.
Mhm.
That's like the two things, you know. Um,
And
now,
what about Summoner Airy?
now Aerie, I think Aerie is shit actually. Like I would say Grasp is interesting as well with Overgrowth because stacking a lots of HP into like a heavy burst oriented comp is kinda great, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, Ezreal has some burst as well. So I think Grasp is another like kinda like off met. I actually met this guy as well in solo queue. It's like
Yeah, I have played against him a lot of times.
I
This
think
game,
uh-huh.
this game, he stomped our top lane and it felt unwinnable the whole game.
I don't like that you stood so much by the way. Like even if someone shows up, you know, like we gotta recall and go bot lane, you know, because we gotta take dominance until we can. Because if Vayne is isolated against Amu and Ezreal, that's not really great, you know. Because
Mhm.
like as Senna, like pre-6 you really gotta do something. Or pre like before like Nunu even ganks us, you know. So like we gotta take
Yeah.
some type of zoning, strong advantages in the early game. Because we could get collapsed on as well really easily, so that's the other reason, right? So I think we can stay so much. One of the main reason is the minion wave, you know? Because like we
Mhm.
won't arrive in time, you know? And the other one we can maybe get collapsed on, you know? Because we recently met the Skarner, which means that there is a ward where they just rotate upwards, you know, and they just kill us. So I feel like you stood a little too much there. Because the problem is you don't have a hard CC. Like we are invading, you didn't even make your W. I guess your W is just 1 second route, it wouldn't do much, but it's like we don't have CC, so it's like, don't feel like Skarner just ease and he's out, you know. I guess in here he died to Akali, but it's a 1-for-1, just like a one
Yeah.
for one, which is not all that worth, you know. So I would say like overstaying this much is not all that worth. Like I think at some point you gotta like reset, you know.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure like how frequently do you like overstay like this hoping you get a kill, but since we have 0 CC, as I said, it's not realistic to kill Skarner. The only thing that she burned 2 sums for Skarner and it was a 1-for-1, you know, that's how she got him. But it's usually not realistic. And then now as I said, you know, now it's fucked. That's a bit fucked because in here, what you should do is just danger ping the Vayne, like earlier if you can. Because this can really hurt a lot if Amumu connects his Q. Now she has her Q, so it's... Oh, yeah. Yeah, so like Damumu can predict as well. And now this can go really ugly because of the glacial augment and Ezreal's PTA. So let's see. Yeah, it can go really yes.
No, I'm not sure why the Vayne just
Yeah.
was doing this bullshit to
Uh,
dodge the second.
yeah, so MMO I think predicted it or something, but it is the thing, you know, like if you are off because you overstood, it's the same thing when you are like roaming, you know. You should like aim to like danger ping your AD carry that he's isolated in a 1v2
Mhm.
situation. But I think this is like one of the things that a lot of master plays fall off when it comes to communication. Like it's not really your fault, but it's your responsibility, you know, because you should be present normally, you know. Should be here
Yeah.
beside Vayne. So like because your presence is not there and Vayne is used to that you should be there, uh guess like funny things can happen, you know. So she probably should then give up the last minion, you know, or maybe the second one so she doesn't get collapsed on. But she traded like so much HP. Did she lie? She didn't. So she didn't die, but she traded a lot of HP for no reason. The Amu shouldn't even get like hit by a tower shot and by minions, he just really greeted there. Okay. So now, We should put more aggression on, as much as you can, because the guy has no glacial augment and they're quite low. So now it's time. Do you?
Yeah.
So do you put more aggression? Yeah. Do you Q at some point? Or you have your Q? Oh, jeez, the Nunu level 2s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
This.
that was like a possibility, right? Because they started from the top side as a bot side, right? Look,
Mhm.
so in here they showed up that they showed lately on, so it means you guys are weak. Nunu could level 3 or level 2, you know. It's rarely when he does it, but I think just because you guys go for heavy trades, you give them a chance to level 2 gank, you know. So
Yeah.
like in here we can see like obviously we play yet we are still Nunu is still on the bot side of the map because they arrived late on the lane. Of course Ezreal uses mana as well, so most likely they leave. So that means that there is like a chance that Nunu will actually level to us. And it will work out because she burned all of her sums, which most likely got pinged in the enemy all chat. So I think like your first thing should be in here is just definitely like warding, you know? No? I just now,
Mm.
yeah, just now I didn't look into like where Nunu starts, but now I realize Nunu starts like both side, you know,
Okay.
which can be like really easily detected, you know, just by checking if they leashed or not, you know. So,
Mhm.
so like what I would do in here when I walk into the lane, basically you kinda need to like go for like some type of ward because she's sumless, you know. Or what you could also do, just face tank Nunu snowbolt and flash out, so maybe Vayne can live, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think if I tanked it,
Maybe
I
he
would
would
die
die as
too.
well. Oh yeah, maybe he would die as well, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean.
probably both of you guys would die then, huh?
Yeah.
There's not much you could do. Okay. So yeah, like the early game starts out a bit rough, but now we have information where Nunu started. And now, so now what I would kinda like ping is just again like in here. Nunu will try to cross map a W gank on mid lane. I mean just to regank him, right? Because he needs to get through mid lane to his camps, you know?
Yeah.
So now this is what I would do just to raise Akali's awareness, because there is a world where she dies to level. And she like the way she's positioning kinda gives me off that she's not caring about the fact that she could be level 2 ganked, you know? Since she's
Mhm.
also sumless, she has no sums. So Nunu could actually really easily level 2 gank, you know?
Yeah.
It's like another possibility. And this is how we would save their life. As much as you can, you should last hit minions. I'm not sure why don't you last it, you know? Like even in here, like if there is no AD carry nearby, you know, you should aim to last it, you know? As much as you can just to reset the Q as well, you know? So you get some healing.
Mhm.
I think in here you didn't last it for some reason. I'm not sure if this is like a habit for you as Senna, but even as Senna you should last it, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't like how you traded, you know? Like an auto attack is not really worth for an auto Q, you know? So you're not really in a position to like trade, you know? Like the only way you trade if it's like perfect, you know?
Mhm.
So like in here you didn't space well your autos, you didn't position behind minions, you know? So let's look a tiny bit back. So obviously you outrange Ezreal by 50 auto range, you know? But
Yeah.
the other issue is just simple, you know? Um, you didn't like space well in there, you know? And you didn't position behind minions, so like an auto Q from Ezreal is never worth, you know? Because you're way squishier than he is, right? So like in
Yeah.
here, like...
But the play with okay. When
Yeah.
I'm doing this, I'm thinking that I have the chance to queue through minions and to hit to select the soul, and this is the why I'm doing it. But I believe I thought that I'm behind this minion, but it was yeah.
I mean,
Never mind.
maybe you didn't see it from the tower.
Yeah.
So like then, yeah, then your camera is in a wrong like space, you know. So this can confuse players, you know, because you don't correctly see like what's going on, but you can move your camera a bit, you know. So
Hmm.
it's
Okay.
like this is a bit tricky, you know. The tower can be tricky, and I think I fought for the same thing as well at the time. So it's weird how the tower is designed, you know. It kind of like covers, so it kind of looks like you're protected, you know. But it can be just an illusion, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's weird because even high elo players get tricked by the tower. And even I got tricked, before I know that it's not like that,
Mm-hmm.
It kinda looks like, Not really trying to last hit anything. Even in here you should probably auto this and aim to Q it.
Mm-hmm.
So like an auto
Okay.
Q would kill it. Like I think you should aim to CS more as Senna because you're one of those champions supports that need some level of CS because you're looking to have damage. So
Mm-hmm.
like I think you're hard avoiding minions in here. Oh, now you auto it, But I think you should give up more your Q to CS because you also want to heal yourself, you're not full. You have lots of mana, so like there's no reason to hold into your mana. I would actually just walk a little bit deeper, but at the same time you gotta be careful because if Amumu kills you, just cancel your B, yeah, maybe throw out the W. Okay. Oh, it hurts. So you're not. I think you pick up these souls a bit too quickly. So I think like you can first position, and then like pick it up, no? Because
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. There is like a reason to rush. And this is what I've seen from other like Senna players. As soon as they see a soul, they are rushing for it, and that's like the fastest way you can punish yourself. Because I think you have like 5 seconds before it expires or something like that, no?
8 seconds.
8 seconds. So like if you have a space of 8 seconds, you don't wanna like pick it up instantly if there is like some form of danger. For example, here is like a globe and a soul I mean, and there's like a karma in here. You don't have to rush it, when you have a space of 8 seconds to pick it up. You gotta wait until like the minions go a bit more forward, so you have like minion cover, for example against the karma, and then you can pick it up. But there is usually no reason to rush those.
Mm-hmm.
These are like some slight micro mistakes. Someone who has 2 Qs, just because he gave up one of his Q, it doesn't mean that. Uh-huh. And the problem is like
Oh.
in here, like your punishment is a bit bad, because Ezreal just outranges you, with his Qs and Ws. So in here, you can't really punish anything. The only thing that's gonna happen if you step up, he gonna like QW you. There's like no way you have access to him. So like your movement is a bit weird. What you can do, you can like go in and out of this minion and maybe you bait out this Q. You can dodge it really easily if you go in and out of the minion cover. Then you have like more space to punish. But
Mhm.
otherwise I wouldn't like step through the minions, because it also exposes us to an Amumu.
Yeah,
So in
I think that I'm playing around the minion. I'm not stepping forward.
yeah, now you do. Now you do. Yeah, it's good. That's good. Yeah, but yeah, the ward in here. You know what I also observed? There's another important thing you should ping or type. Um, we were weak-sided, which means most likely Nunu could be top side, he could be in resetting, he could be at crab, he could be in mid lane soon as well. But the idea is that
Mhm.
Nunu could either reset, be bot lane, or he could be also top side, which is also great. So Fiddlesticks can really easily counter gank it. I don't know how is his clear time so slow, but he should be ideally somewhere here, I think. I'm not exactly sure if this is the right clear speed for Fiddlesticks. But here is the thing. In here you should ping the fact that they never really warded this area. Like I never really seen them leaving the middle of the lane or these bushes. Like have you ever seen them walking all the way up to like ward in some form? I didn't really see them. And even when they recalled in here. So they didn't really like move up, to ward. So that would be like one of the ways Fiddlesticks could either counter gank Nunu or gank us.
Okay.
Because yeah, so like then we should ping the jungler that they have no wards. Also in here it was warded, but it expired.
Mhm.
So let's even reveal it so you can see it with your eyes. So they never warded this, because they never were at this side, right? So if they never walk upwards, we should type no wards bot lane gank us, because they don't see it. They don't know where Fiddlesticks is. No vision, no vision. So then we should aim to communicate a bit more with the jungler because we are not playing the game alone. Especially in Master Plus, people are most likely willing to communicate.
Mhm.
So you place the point in your E. I think it's fine to place a point in your E if you are playing a matchup where you can use it defensively, or maybe you are looking for some type of scuttle scrap fight. But in general, it's better if you put 2 points in your Q and then make it for your E.
Uh,
Or
Yeah, I'm doing it, but I thought this time that with Vayne we are going to push the lane and just to recall and then use it to back to lane faster, but I'm not sure.
yeah, but now you're fighting. So how's that? Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep. So until like Fiddle 6 is not in the area, we are not really allowed to fight. Because as I said before, like Nunu could be really easily here. Since you know why Nunu is here? Because Garen wasn't gankable, you know. Garen
mhm,
recalled in the bush, this is a bug. So you gotta ask yourself, you know, mid is not gankable because how defensively she positions. She also has a knee up and she also has a wall, you know. So
mhm.
mid laners have two good walls against like Nunu snowballs, you know. So in here Akali is hardly gankable. She has also a knee up, right, which she doesn't really gives up right now. Top is also not gankable because he's missing. So if we don't ward, you know, or Fiddle 6 doesn't counter ganks, we are not really allowed to play that deeply as you did, because there is like a ward where Nunu actually just skips all of his camps, you know, and just ganks us, you know. Because it's not really a necessity for him to pick up the camps if he gets better opportunities, you know, because in here he also sees the wave state, so a bigger wave is stacking up in here, and you guys are aiming to shove and reset right now, or get plates, you know, and you guys didn't ward either, you know, like you guys didn't ward this area or this area, you know, so if you wanna play this deep in the lane, you're not really allowed to play this deep in the lane, you know, without warding, you know, that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Or like Fiddle 6 needs to be here, you know. But otherwise I don't feel like this is like a great idea for you guys, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, maybe I needed to wait for the fiddlesticks a little bit more to come.
Yeah, I'm not sure how does even Fiddle 6 counter gank this, honestly. Maybe he uses his FPG to tank his W, I guess. But yeah, the problem is how exposed you were to the Q as well from the Amu, you know. Because that really sets up a really easy. So the Fiddle 6 deals a lot of damage, right? So maybe if we waited for Fiddle 6, this would be much nicer, you know?
Hmm.
Or maybe if we warded, you know, earlier on. Either one of
Yeah.
the options. In fact, against Nuno, you pretty much need to go for deep wards, something like this and not like this, because when he's in his snowball, and you see him only around this area, it's usually too late, you know?
Hmm.
So we got 2 kills. That's kind of good, but it could be nicer. So I think like the main problem was like falling off with the jungle tracking, you know. That I think that was the issue in here, you know. Because I think as Senna you don't have to go for some type of desperation plays. Even if you just scale, that's usually good for you, you know. Um, okay.
Okay.
So in here you got a longsword. I'm not sure, is longsword really better than
Boots.
yeah.
Uh,
Because it just allows you to swing in more auto attacks the faster you move. Also you run faster than Amumu then, which means it's harder for him to get like Q angles on you. They have two skill shot champions, his Q, right, his abilities. So it's easier to dodge those as well with the mobility you have and swing in more auto attacks before they get out of auto range. I feel like mobility is just a must to have, no? Merc threats, I feel like this game Merc threats is maybe the go-to on Senna, no?
uh,
They're full of AP and stuns, you know?
yeah, but I took Legend Tenacity to have
Uh-huh.
tenacity, and I thought that swiftness it would be nice for the slows that they can apply to me,
Uh-huh.
like from Nunu C, Lissandra Q, and Gardner E. Or yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just to move more when I'm slow.
Mm-hmm. So now they get hard engaging champs like Nunu and Amumu, right? So again, we don't have any deep wards, and we are fighting this side, you know? So, like, Nunu could regank you guys. Actually, he could regank you guys really easily, because you guys never warded this, and this also might be control warded by Amumu or Ezreal, you know?
Mm. Okay.
You can also check if Amumu had a control ward in his inventory, and if it disappeared, or Ezreal, then it means they warded this area. So the issue is we don't have wards at the Drake. Uh, so this is usually bad to ward. What you guys should aim to ward is this bush. If Akali can ward it, it would be really great because Nunu can't really jump through walls. So the only way he ganks us is either this way or the other one.
Yeah.
So usually, like most of the times, Nunu will gank you from this area. He won't really like wrap around too many, like something like this. He won't go that way. So like we need to ward in here. So if you wanna fight in here, it is deep. You need to ward in here, because we don't have CC, we don't have an Anivia wall. We actually don't have a straight up way to deal with Nunu snowball. That's the issue. Then they also have like a point and click follow up. I say point and click because if Nunu hits his snowball, Amumu
Yeah.
100% hits his Q. So then Ezreal connects his combo and one of us is dead, because how much burst they have. So then the issue is, since we don't have a Nunu counter, then we have to kinda like play more defensively than this. In fact, you guys should just allow them to push. Like in this scenario, when they are a bit ahead as well, see they are ahead, I would just allow them to shove, because it's like when we have this wall cover, it's way easier to like position against like Nunu. Because then if Nunu snowballs, we can always like go something upwards. So
Yeah. I know, but a lot in my games, my ADC just failed to freeze the wave and just slowly push it
I mean,
towards them.
yeah, I mean the reason why Nunu camps you guys is just another thought. You guys you are the win condition. The bot lane is the win condition. Because anybody else can get countered. I mean, even we can get countered, but we are the main DPS. We are the main DPS, so that's why you guys get so much focus as well. In fact, now that Lissandra is missing, she could be bot lane as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Nuno is doing Drake right now. I'm 100% sure he's at the Drake. Because if he's not ganking anything, I feel like you could just ward Drake if you have any wards. Do you have anything? We have no wards.
No.
No control wards, nothing. Okay. Try to get the W angle there. Huh? Couldn't you just hold the wave a little bit upwards? Wait. Because I think both of them were disengaging too early. They weren't like pushing with the wave together. So when Amumu missed his Q, I think you could hold a little bit the wave. Because it looked like... No, I guess it wouldn't be. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't really...
Yeah.
So his Q would come up in... Yeah. It wouldn't be possible. Okay. I swear every top laner in this game falls for the Skarner ults you under tower. Cause I know, cause even I did fall for that. So do you guys do anything about this? So you rotate and...
I go in, but my...
Then you don't go. Then you don't do anything actually. Because if you get caught by Amumu's Q, you're kinda dead.
Yeah, I think that I was caught from this move. Yeah. Ah, or no.
Does Fiddle 6 flash in here? Oh, he has no smite.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, Defender I see as the last one. Yeah. I mean, if Vayne doesn't move, you can't really like... Alone you can't really go in the pits, just like that. Okay. Like maybe the main issue was you couldn't identify, the fact like who Nunu would most likely camp. Maybe you couldn't see like how vulnerable your champion is, Vayne, and then your champ to like Nunu ganks in general. Maybe that was like one of the issues.
Okay. Yeah, I really didn't think of who will gank the most.
Yeah. I mean, Akali is usually ungankable, you know, it's really hard to gank an Akali. Unless if, like, of course, Lysandra has her ult up, but most likely your guy is the most vulnerable, like, picks, you know. So in here he ping, but he's out of position. And Ezrealin is in a better position to follow this up. So since there is no follow-up, we don't know where Nuno is. I think this is kinda bad if you're looking to do anything in here, you know. That's because, like, let's see. So he misses his Q. You miss your W as well.
That's it.
So yeah, maybe you aimed incorrectly, you know, the high ground and the lower ground thing.
Yeah, I have watched a few videos that explain it, but
Yeah,
in practice I don't really think of it and just throw it.
feels like you aimed like differently. So now we can't really hold the melee minions, but we can hold the range ones, you know, because if Amumu kills us, he will be under tower, right? So he will be dead. So what we should aim to do, tier soon 6, when tier soon 6, right? And after 6 we just kinda get shit on, you know, that's how it goes. Ezreal most likely recast because if you saw him last time he had no mana, you know.
Yeah.
So Amumu can't really queue us under tower, so we can just hold the range ones and we have a freeze. Then we can also communicate to Akali or to this guy that we have a freeze and they could gank us, right? That's like one of the things that they could
Mhm.
do. Did you guys hold the wave? Look, I'm gonna reveal it. Ezreal had pretty much no mana and he's also resetting as I said. So I think at least the range ones you could hold, because even if you get damaged, you have Q and fleet, so it wouldn't really like damage it. Oh, I don't like what you did in here. You know why?
Yeah,
Because it messes up the last hitting patterns for Vayne. Yeah,
yeah. She missing pinged me after after
yeah,
kill.
yeah. So like poking Amumu is worthless in here. I know you wanted to poke Amumu, but the thing is, if you Q somebody and you screw up the wave, the last hits, and he just recasts, you don't get anything out of it, you know.
Mhm.
I guess you just slightly slow down his reset, but it just does nothing, you know.
Yeah.
So in here you should aim to shove as fast as possible, because this will push towards them, because your next wave will arrive faster in here, you know, than their wave, you know.
Mhm.
So that most likely mean it would shove towards them. So what you should aim to do, you should just reset the wave state. So you want to push the whole wave out with Vayne, right? This minion wave will 100% go under tower before this minion arrives, you know, this wave arrives, right? So then the wave resets completely and it will slowly like bounce back, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Because in here slowly pushing is one of the worst things you can do, just because how dominant can Amumu be after 6, and if we play deep in lane it's really bad because they have a Nunu, you know. So that's how it goes. Now in here I revealed everybody, but you don't really know where Nunu is right now. So the fact that you guys didn't like fast push this wave as fast as you guys could and reset. Look, so she has 1000 gold, right? You
Mhm.
have 900, you have 1000 gold, I mean, and she has 900, right? So they are recalling and they're investing their gold into something, right? And also the wave will be on their side, right? Amumu is soon 6, Ezreal is soon 6. Which puts us in a really bad like position, you know, after they come back. So if we don't decide to push this as fast as possible, as I said, this will push towards them because look, our wave is reinforcing these 3 minions, right? But the reinforcement for the enemy wave is too far, you know, because they are closer to our tower, right?
Yeah.
So then it will be really awkward because we don't have enough vision. Nunu could collapse on us, so then it's kind of awkward, you know, to play over all the lane, right?
Mhm.
Because as Amumu gets 6, you know, we are kind of screwed because we don't have cleanses, no cleanses, you know.
Mhm.
And Amumu, I'm pretty much sure a full combo from Amumu takes more than half of your HP down or something like that. Then Ezreal has to just to like use a QW and you're dead, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think Nunu is heralding right now. Huh? Is either heralding?
Uh,
Yeah, probably.
no, he was mid, but
So
I'm not sure where he went.
So you guys disrespected Amumu 6s. So.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is what I expected to happen, you know? Yeah. Yeah. So he didn't exactly know, let's say in game he didn't exactly knows when he gets 6, right? But just by shoving the wave out, you know, and letting him get 6, you know, later on, would be more beneficial because they also lose some minions under tower, you know? So we would avoid all of this, you know? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's simply about, you know, that they're kind of like beating us, they hard counter us. So like we gotta outsmart them by like just shoving the wave out, you know. So we gotta be smarter in a different way, you know. Because we can't beat them, then we just might just have a better wave management, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Because imagine even against Rakan, you know, like when he gets his 6 as Senna, you struggle, you know. So you don't want the wave to be on their side, you know, if they are looking to reset.
Killing
Because Rakan's threat is way higher after 6, right? And I think there are many like supports that get to be more dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to pick up your souls.
Do you think that this matchup was okay that I picked Senna? Or
I think it's really bad, you know. Like I think Senna is one of the worst picks you can get into this team, you know. I feel like Tam Kench would be something that's perfect, or anything that can like this, like I would say Janna is good. So anything that can like peel our Vayne from hard engages, you know.
uh-huh.
Because
Okay.
like what's gonna happen, you know, um, you just the problem is you're also like a vulnerable target, you know. You're not even something like Alistar that let's say you have an ultimate, you're tanky, you can face tank the non-ult or the Amumu Q, you know. As Senna, you're not even like a tank, a body that can protect Vayne, because if they all in you, any of these, uh, you're dead, right? So we either take a strong enchanter that can protect Vayne, or we take a tank that can face tank some abilities, you know. Because
Mm-hmm.
your point in here is to face tank like some things, you know, to disallow the enemy champions to kind of like engage or disrupt their engages in some form, you know. But Senna is, I think, is really bad, you know. Like if they have this type of hard engaging champs, Senna feels to be really awful, and what kind of like makes Senna sort of useful if you go, I think, look at into Redemption, because you need to be tanky, you know, you need to provide more protection, and that's something that kind of makes you useful. But
Okay.
Renata would be also decent to some degree, right? Um,
Yeah. So.
I mean, her ult is not the best against the enemy team if I think about it. Like tanks in general, Leona is not that bad, right? She's kinda tanky, thanks to skill shots for Vayne. I think you either go a tank support or something like Janna, you know, that can heal. Like Lulu is not bad at healing her, because you provide so much mobility after Shurelia that Nunu can't maybe catch up, you know, to like snowball. Um, or one of the best supports you could actually get with Vayne that would be
Mm-hmm.
perfect this game, it would be perfect this game, would be Anivia, because you counter his engage with your W, and also you can place a W behind Ezreal and Vayne can eat, you know, or behind Amumu.
Yeah.
And the thing is, your wall on Anivia has way low cooldown than a 28 second Ezreal, you know. In general, his E is 28 second if he doesn't have any cooldown, you know, reduction items. So then that's like one of the best picks I can actually imagine for you to pick, right? Uh,
It's not like.
or Morgana? What about Morgana? Like
Uh,
an Emax Morgana wouldn't be that bad either, you know? Because like if you can peel off your AD carry from at least one CC, that would be like really good, you know?
yeah.
Like I feel like there are like many things, you know, that would be great, you know? But out of all options, I would not really like go Senna, you know? Like, yeah. Like Soraka wouldn't even be completely bad.
Red team has slain the
Or
dragon.
Sona maybe. So I can actually imagine to be also decent this game. Mobility you provide, you can stun the engagers. You have some poke in lane.
And what do you think about Reo in general, not about this game?
I think she's kinda underrated, like what does Rel even provide? Like she reduces some armor with her passive. Her kit is a bit weird. I think she's like great with paired with some champions like Misfortune, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think she's good with some champions like Misfortune or Jinx. Uh, in general, I feel like just because her W is disruptible, that's like one of her weaknesses, you know? Because champions with point and click CC like Lulu kinda counter her in some way. Because her W is kinda easy to react to cancel it, you know? Or
Yeah.
like champions with dashes in general, so she kinda falls off against those type of champs, either with dashes like Ezreal or against CC champs. So I think that's like one of the reasons why she's not really seen too much in the meta.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, Rel is one of those champs. I think she likes champions like Tristana as well, you know? It's like aggressive early game champ. Couldn't you just... No. So pick him up. So pick him up. So what you should ideally do in here, you know, you should like Q the tower, get the aggro, use your E on yourself. Maybe get like 2 tower shots and like get out, you know. Then your team can pick up that Mumu. Or what happens in here? You W, you Q. Okay, I guess that's fine as well. Like, fine as well.
Yeah.
This point, I feel like Nunu could win here in like 5 seconds. So at this point I would just E and back off. Cause I feel like there's no way we get this tower, right? Since there is no objective for Nunu, no other ganking opportunities. Maybe mid lane, but she's backing off. So I feel like it's so easy for Nunu just to gank us. Since we don't have like an upfront way to deal with this snowball. We just greedy. Oh,
Yeah.
just greedy. I think there's like another issue with your lethality build, you know. Most of them are kinda tanky, you know, so going like for a lethality item is not all that useful, you know. 146 armor. Now Nunu doesn't go tank. It's like one thing, it's kinda good. 110 armor as well. Lissandra has no Zanya yet. So I guess like I don't know like for how far will be this lethality build useful, you know. Because I feel like in here, like, yeah, as I said before, like Eclipse or like Umbral Glaive don't feel to be all that useful compared to like the other thing like Locket and Redemption. This is what like many like Senna players are picking up, you know, because they have a lot of burst and hard engaging champs, you know. So I think you gotta like go for an actual support build, you know, and not a lethality build, you know.
Yeah.
Because as I saw, you don't really like. I think sometimes you go Zanye, but you don't really go for too many like different builds, you
Red
know.
team's turret has been destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I noticed it in your match history.
Yeah, because it's like
Like I
if you
think it's
don't
fine.
buy lethality, your Q. I mean, your Q scales with lethality, the healing, and this is why I think that going lethality is always okay.
So it gives like 20, something like 20 bonus healing, something like that, or something. So it's a thing, you know, like even Redemption provides bonus healing, you know. And the problem is you're not supposed to like. You don't really care about having a bit more healing from lethality, you know. Like in this game, we're not supposed to be a damage dealer, you know. Because like if you look at our team, damage we have enough. Like in general, we have enough damage, you know. So even if you go for a lower damage build, we won't suffer from, as I said, we won't really suffer from not having enough damage. Our problem is we don't have enough protection, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
You can protect yourself, you can protect your ally champs. So like that's like the only way you adapt as Senna in this game, you know. So we don't get killed in here. Again, I think the same issue occurs, you know. Let's start from the beginning, you know. In here, again, we are not, so like, after like pushing this wave up, we are not really allowed to go much more deeper, you know, from this point on without any wards. So in here you set up one ward, but even that ward is kinda incorrect, you know. Because if Nuno is here with his snowball and you go inner, you're fucked, you know. You need to ward in here, you know. Same way to Ramus, you know. Like against some junglers, you can't really go for close wards, you know. That I think that happened before as well, yeah. Like even if you ward it, I think it gives you like a false sense of safety, you know. Because if Nuno is here, we spot him, what do we do? Actually, I don't know what do we do. Or in fact, any jungler that just dashes over or blast cones, you're kinda fucked, you know.
Yeah.
And as like we saw, like Lissandra was visibly like rotating to bot lane, you know. We don't know where Nunu is, but Nunu again, like you gotta ask yourself who's most likely Nunu gonna gank: the mid laner that has a shroud and a knee and is sitting under tower, or the Garen that's really tanky and he's really close to the tower as well with no follow up, or you guys, two squishy champions that don't have counter play against his snowball, and Lissandra is also rotating bot lane, which also has like two abilities that can set up a really good gank set. It can like keep a really good gank setup, I mean, to so I
Okay.
think we kinda like lose these like, I think we kinda lost, we fall off like macro wise, you know.
Mhm.
I think it just doesn't matter like how well you play your champion, if you don't play it out correctly macro wise, it's just gonna collapse on you, you know. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, so Vayne got the shield bow, Akali is a bit fed, Garen useless, Fiddlesticks has damage. He also went for biscuits, which is kinda weird because he didn't use any of them, you know? Like, I don't think so you should go biscuits and fleet against a melee support that does not poke at all, you know?
The main thing for biscuit is not for the health, it's for the mana that provide.
Yeah, but you didn't use it for mana either, because you have presence of mind,
Yeah.
I think. Like, I think you never used your mana. I think if you have presence of mind itself, I don't think so you necessarily need biscuits, you know? Like, you just gotta ask yourself, like, how much did these runes, like, how much did fleet provide? And biscuits, you know? Because it feels like it didn't really provide much, you know?
Mhm.
Like, mobility is the only good thing out of fleet, you know? But if they all, like, if they have like an all-in bot lane, you know? Ezreal, PTA and Amumu, right? They want to all-in it, they don't, like, Ezreal sometimes pokes, where you can like sustain through slowly with fleet, but if you get like one fleet proc and they all in you, you're most likely dead, you know? So then I just simply would go Guardian, or if not Guardian, then Grasp. But I think you should go probably like some defensive runes, some hard defensive runes. Or if you wanna play it out aggressively, you can get First Strike and press the attack. But I think it's more so like a low elo thing to go for like aggressive runes, you know, against that team. I feel
Mhm.
like you would better be going off by going Grasp or Guardian, one of them, because you and your AD carry needs more protection. So that's how it kinda like goes. But I would probably just go off with Grasp or something. I'm not sure if it's like still meta on Senna.
Shut down.
Okay.
Maybe this is was it able to save?
Yeah, I'm not sure why they're doing that.
So they overchased the blade, they got killed. I mean, if you felt like they're just gonna get collapsed on by Nano, you could just like danger ping them, you know, when you're dead. It's like one
Hmm.
simple thing you can do and hope they back off. Oh damn.
Shut down.
Yeah.
Kill.
Pff, to be honest, the rest of the game is a little bit, I don't know, boring because Skarner is just too fat
Yeah.
and just is unkillable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And only the fat Akali that follows like 30 minutes is
I mean, even Akali just gets countered, no? Just because how much CC they have.
yeah, and only Fiddlesticks we have that we rely on his ult, which eventually just
Yeah, I
at the
mean,
fort.
yeah. So the only hope we have is actually Filler 6 is worth like doing shit, you know? That's
Yeah.
actually all we have. But only, like if they get to be more tanky, Lissandra gets a Zanye, uh, he gets to be more tanky, he positions defensively, Dazril, then even like the agency like Twisted, Filler 6 would have would be like really low, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Not much happened recently. Let's see. Let's see how much time passed ever since then. 7:46. So like actually 1 hour passed ever since the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, so we watched like half of this. Like, it's like I think the main thing is like the drafting. You know, that's where we fall off. Because I feel like no matter how hard you try, you just get shit on by these champs. I'm not sure when did you pick like Senna. You know, like if you were first pick or whatever. But
Okay.
Senna is hard to be first pick. You know, that's the thing. So even if you're first pick, it's something like you should ask for teammates to pick for. You know.
Okay. So you recommend me to try Tam Kench and Yumi?
I think these are like the things I like. Rakan is decent as well. Karma I really like. Yeah, like Tamken should be really good. Yumi still really good in the meta, really good with many champions, you know, in the game. Also, Yumi is one of those champions. Even if she gets nerfed, she's also dependent on your teammates' champions. So if there's like a Belvet or something that Yumi goes really well with, then it should be fine, you
Mhm.
know. So I think Tamken, Yumi, these are like my personal favorites. Lulu insanely good with these type of champions like Vayne. And also she's really good at denying like champions like Zed, you know, like when Zed ults somebody, you can polymorph them, you can knock them up, or Talon, you know, tries to all-in somebody. So she's not only good at enhancing, but at like denying engages, you know.
Yeah.
Also
Okay.
no, like she's good against Tristana, you know, countering her all-in, like against all-in champs, you know, in general. She's like really good to like deny them, you know, because when you polymorph someone for so long, then they can't really just do much, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind
Okay.
of like point ethics. So I think like Lulu, Yumi, Karma, Janna, sometimes like Tam Kench, like any of these things are really good from my opinion. Amumu is also great if you have like bot laners that are really vulnerable to your Qs and your ultimates, and you also have like an AD carry that deals some level of AP damage, such as Kog'Maw. Ezreal, like I really like Amumu after his Q buffs. I played him decent from my opinion. Um,
Mhm.
I feel like Senna is like not the best champion this patch, you know,
Yeah.
just because
Okay.
how much time she got nerfed. So that's how it goes. Do you have any questions as well?
Uh, Maybe only for the Maokai. I think you really don't recommend it to play it
Yeah.
anywhere.
So I feel like in lower ranks it's good, but in higher ranks, you know what's the problem with in higher ranks? As Maokai, if you play Maokai, you can possibly even set up freezes for the enemy team just because how your E works. So like the only way you get actual value out of your E if you throw them in a bush and they need to walk in that bush, you know. So what if they don't walk in the bush? That's the question. Then what happens?
Mm-hmm.
I can also give you the student rank. It just allows you to leave a feedback if you choose in the reviews section in here,
Ah.
you know.
Okay.
So Maokai, like what does Maokai do? You know, he pokes, he has some level of CC. I think he's good at countering Samira because he has pokes and he has like CC to disrupt her ult, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, what's Maokai's W can dodge some abilities like a Tariq C, I guess. So I guess like there is like his W counters some type of things, you know. Uh, he has roots, he has like CC, but all that much is not that great compared to like other engaging champs, you know.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. I don't have
Okay.
any other question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
also I wanted to ask you if you want this to be posted on YouTube. I made a clip of it, you know, and usually I recycle the coaching content, you know, on YouTube, so others can also learn out of these type of matchups.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have any problem.
Okay. So how would you rate it? Was it a good experience?
Yeah. I think that I don't know. It really helped to see some common mistakes that maybe I can think of them more, like the macro play
Yeah.
and like you said, the draft pick.
Drafting macro. Yeah, so that's how like when I played master as well, you know, that's how I noticed like that's what like most of the master plus player fall off with, you know. There are lots of one tricks as well that simply can't understand that their champion just can't fit every game. Or some champions like Kasadin are really vulnerable to counter picks. The same thing can apply to Senna, you know. She can be vulnerable to some counters. So then you have
Mm.
to really hard try with those champions to make them viable.
Yeah. Okay.